All right, all right, all right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the fourth annual Bridges Over Waters Gala. Ooh, I feel like we ought to be applauding. We ought to be applauding. This is a big deal. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Come on, let's give it up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. All right. So, my name is Angela Phillips, and I am so honored to be the host for tonight's event. I am a longtime Stockton educator, currently serving as Director of Education at Team Charter Schools. I am also a proud member of the Open Door House of Prayer. And I am proud to say that I am a past recipient of a Bridges Over Water Award. So, tonight, if you have not had a chance, please go ahead right now and introduce yourself in the chat. Who's in the room? Say hello to everyone. Let's connect virtually. We know how to do this. We've been doing this for a few years, so let's make the best of it. Let us know who's here. We are here tonight to celebrate the legacy of Amelia Ann Adams. And if you knew her, you know that she's had a great impact on all those who knew her. And she continues to help us and through us build bridges over health, faith, education, and social justice. We want to recognize all of our sponsors that have helped make sure this evening could be a success. Adventist Health, Dignity Health, and Health Plan of San Joaquin. I want to pause for a minute and ask our hosts if we are able to share screen, because I want you to see these names. I want you to hear it and see it so you don't forget it. And I want to say a hello. I see you, Angel Ann Flores. Thanks for getting on screen. Good to see your face. I see Tanis. All right. I'm just going to give our host a second to make sure we are sharing screen. Who else do we see in the room? I see you, Pastor Curtis Smith. He's everywhere. A very good friend of Pastor Amelia Adams. All right, because you know, in a second, I was about to highlight my face. Hey, what do you want to see? No. So, yes, we are here at Bridges Over Many Waters. And as I mentioned, our main person that we do this in honor of, Amelia Ann Adams, she was a bridge over many waters, over connecting lives and people and organizations with the work that she did. And that work did not stop when she went home to be with her Heavenly Father. It continues, and her connection is felt through those who she had a great impact on. And we're excited to be able to honor some of the community members and leaders who are doing some of the same types of work that she was honored to do for so many years right here in the city of Stockton. So I want to see who's here to support who. Put in the chat who invited you. Did you come here because of one of the awardees? Who's got the most people in the room? Come on in. Let's name drop. It's time to name drop. Put your awardee's name in the chat. Oh, yes. 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 All right. Oh, yes, yes, yes. We love it. We love it. We love it. All the love, all the love. We'll keep giving the love in the chat throughout the evening. And we want to show some love and particular thanks. Sponsors, we have our connectors, Adventist Health, Dignity Health, and Health Plan of San Joaquin. We appreciate them for their sponsorship on tonight, and also our anchor sponsors. We say thank you to Marissa and Christina Peeples, to the Open Door House of Prayer Ministries. Thank you to Henry and Angela Phillips, and to Be Smooth Inc. We are so appreciative of all of the support from our sponsors on tonight, and your support by buying a ticket and coming tonight. You are also helping support the great work of the Amelia Ann Adams Whole Life Center. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, guys, get ready, get ready, get ready. All right, this is for all the tech savvy people. Those who are not tech savvy, don't get nervous. Take your time. You can do it. We're going to do a poll, all right? And something will pop on your screen, and you just will get a chance to click on your answer. So I've been talking about Amelia Ann Adams, Pastor Adams already, and I want to know, how many of you know her? How long have you known or heard about Pastor Adams? Has it been over 10 years? Hopefully you see the poll on your screen and you just click on one of those. Over 10 years, 5 to 10 years? Has it been 3 to 4 years? Did you just hear about her in the past couple years? Maybe tonight is your first time hearing about Amelia Ann Adams. Let's hear from you. Click one of the boxes there on the poll, and we'll be sharing the results now. All right, hopefully you got a chance to share. And so it sounds like, it looks like most of us have known her over 10 years, but we do have some first timers. So glad that you will get a chance to learn about this great woman of God on tonight. All right, if it's still on your screen and you want to see the screen, you can click the blue close and it'll go away. All right, thank you all for responding and engaging in our poll. Now I want to give you an invitation to give. Throughout this evening, we're going to share with you how you can partner with us through giving, through volunteering, and collaborating. Jocelyn is behind the scenes, sharing several links on ways for you to connect with us. So keep checking your chat throughout the evening, and you'll see how you can partner with the Amelia Ann Adams Whole Life Center. We also have a social media challenge. Who loves social media? All right, so this challenge will have 2 winners by the end of this evening. And the only thing you have to do is something most of us already do every day, and that's take a selfie. Come on, raise your hand, put a thumbs up on your picture. Who's selfieing every day? I see Pandora. I know she loves taking pictures of that pretty face. All right, so tell the truth. Tell the truth. Take a selfie, and then what you're going to do with this selfie is post it. Post it on your Facebook page or your IG. If you don't know what IG is, you probably don't have it. No, I'm just kidding. On Instagram, okay? So post it. You can post it on both platforms and you have a chance to win. There's going to be an IG winner and a Facebook winner. Be sure that you post under your picture hashtag AAAWLC and hashtag Bridges Over Gala. Now, this is how we will be able to find your picture, and you will be put in the drawing to win. So be sure to post your selfie tonight on IG and Facebook, hashtag AAAWLC and hashtag Bridges Over Gala. Make sure you have them spelled correctly so that we can easily find you, and hopefully you will be the winner. All right. Also, put your picture with the hashtag and make sure your profile is public. If you have a private profile, we won't be able to find you, right? So on Instagram, make sure that's a public profile. All right, let's have some fun with those pictures. We'll have a couple of breaks throughout this evening where you'll have a chance to, get in a well-lit spot and get your picture going. All right. At this time, I am going to invite our executive director of Amelia Ann Adams Whole Life Center, Christina Peeples, to have a few words. Everybody, let's give a clap for Christina. Come on, let her see those hands. Get your hands up in the camera. Yes, Christina.
All right, thank you, everyone. I'm so excited to be able to celebrate this evening with you all, to honor all of the great awardees for the work that they've done over the years and our scholarship winners. But before we start, I do want to introduce Pastor Adams to those of you who did not have the privilege of meeting her. If you've been in Stockton, most of you have known her. And if you don't know her, a lot of the work and advocacy that she did, you have benefited from. And so before I start to really talk about our organization, I do want to share with you a video of Pastor Adams speaking on behalf of Prop 30. This was passed in 2012, which really helped California begin reinvesting in communities just like Stockton. So I'm going to ask Jocelyn, I'm going to stop sharing. If you could please share that video. And Jocelyn, can you share sound?
My name is Amelia Adams, and I am the pastor of the Open Door House of Prayer in Stockton.
Buenos días, soy el padre Margarito Martínez. Sirvo en la Iglesia Católica de Nuestra Señora del Rosario de Talpa. Colaboro con la organización LA Boys en Los Ángeles, parte de la red de Pico en California.
Good morning, I am Father Margarito Martinez. I serve the Catholic Church in the parish of Our Lady of the Rosary of Talpa. I collaborate with LA Voice in Los Angeles, part of Pico, California.
We are here on behalf of Pico, California, to speak on the behalf of 450,000 families of faith across the state. It is not strange that we are here today, because in our faith traditions, Scripture instructs us to defend the weak and the fatherless, uphold the cause of the poor and the oppressed, rescue the weak and the needy, and that our job as clergy is to stand up for the powerless. That is in Psalms 82, 3 and 4 verses. No matter what our faith tradition may be, as clergy, each day we hear the stories of families caused by the economic crisis that is causing so much pain. And because of this, we have been called to respond. Nowhere is that pain no more apparent than in the city where I live, Stockton, the largest city in the country to declare bankruptcy, a place where murders and joblessness and homelessness is at a higher rate than most cities in the state of California. Just as God called the prophets in the Old Testament and in the New Testament scriptures to condemn injustices, we too are responding to that same call on behalf of our families to make sure that we tell the real stories of what is happening to them and their communities. So we are here today to defend and uphold the cause of the oppressed, to stand up for the powerless, and to lead the way to a new land of opportunity by beginning to reinvest in California's future by passing Proposition 30. Thank you.
Try this strange 10-second technique tonight to reverse type 2 diabetes. Most people continue to take.
Joss. Thank you. All right. So that is a snippet of Pastor Adams advocating on behalf of communities. And I was one that actually got to be blessed to be mentored by her. She's also my grandmother. And when she passed away, we wanted to continue the efforts that she led. And so we started the Amelia Adams Whole Life Center in 2017, but we had been doing work prior to then. And so a lot of the work that we do is really modeled behind the approach that she did her work. And if you've known her, which a lot of people on this call do know her, they could attest to the care that she took when she handled people and when she invested in communities. And she definitely would go where people didn't want to go. And so in all of our work, it was really important that anything that we do in the center, it needs to really model what we saw her do here on this earth. And so one of the key approaches and principles that we practice in all of our work is a principle that she always would share, is that true community engagement was in relationships. And so before we do any of our work, it's really important for us that we build our foundation on building trust and relationships with residents, and then providing support services that could really strengthen the individual by, one, focusing on healing, and then also connection and supporting and meeting their needs. And one of the things that she always did when she worked with anyone was to encourage people to use their gifts and talents. And so in all of our programs, we help meet people's needs and really encourage them to live their best and full potential by serving others, right? And so one of the principles that I live my life by, that she taught me, was that my pain was my purpose. And so a lot of the work that we do in this organization is led by people with lived experiences and people that have truly been impacted by our work and are now serving others. So I do want to highlight just a few of our programs. I don't have enough time to talk about all of our programs. And Jocelyn, if you can link in the chat the link to our digital program. If you click on that digital program, you'll be able to hear more about our programs. But I do want to highlight at least 3 of our current programs that we have. So Empowered Women of Excellence is one of our longest standing programs that we have in our organization. We've actually been doing Empowered Women of Excellence since 2010 was our first class. And in our first class, we had 30 women that went through the class. And this program is really a program that's really centered around healing and really offering different forms of mental health. So what we do is we provide speakers that really come from a lived experience of what they've gone through, and really encouraging women to take that same approach or looking at other ways to heal. And so we've been blessed to be able to partner with the 2 licensed therapists, Miss Davetta and Miss Licia Harrison, who has been able to provide more one-on-one support for our women. This new program, which I'm really excited about, we do a lot of non-traditional forms of healing. And what we have seen is a lot of families really coming in asking for support with their children. And with most families, we might have someone where there's been some tension, some friction, and even broken relationships. And so what this program does is really look at healing and repairing harm. And so we work with families to work with their loved ones to really hear from both perspectives and do it in a form of a restorative justice circle. So our families are doing restorative justice circles with their family members, and we are partnering with licensed therapists that also sit in the circles to really acknowledge how each of us have been harmed and how we can move forward from that. And the last program I want to talk about is our youth organizing. Youth are something that Pastor Adams was definitely passionate about. So there's no way our organization could not have a youth component. So we're really excited to be able to be working with Stockton youth to really look at ways that youth can address some of their current trauma. And so one of our newer programs, Stockton Teens Initiating Community Change, we call it STIC, is really focused on creating peer support groups for young teenage African-American boys and girls. And so this is a new program that we will be starting this fall. And I will be sharing during the break our youth liaisons. They did a really cool COVID rap cipher this past year to really encourage some of their peers to get vaccinated. And so we really think outside the box when we do our work here at the Whole Life Center. And I'm really excited to be able to lead this work with our youth. So like I said, again, please check out the digital program where you can see all of our resources. And if you're interested, please reach out to one of our staff. I do want to thank all of our sponsors that have sponsored this event today. The Bridges Over Water fundraiser, it does support a lot of the programs that we do not have funding for. And one of the things I will say that we're really good at is we'll definitely do work even if we don't have funding for it. Some of the staff might be like, she does do that. Like, we'll take on a lot of stuff just because we need to get it done. And so our heart is really in it for the community. So I just want to thank our sponsors for supporting and investing in the Amelia Adams Whole Life Center. And I'm going to pass it back to Ms. Phillips.
All right, thank you, Christina. That was a lot of great information. And now, for those who have meeting Pastor Adams for the first time, we're so glad that you have gotten a glimpse at what it is that we have been so blessed to know about for so many years. We're going to have a brief break, just a 5-minute break. It is now 5:32. We'll come back at 5:37. This is a quick break, a chance for you to get something to drink, check out the silent auction in the chat, look through your digital program, and get ready for a wonderful evening going forward. Enjoy the music.
Mic check, 1, 2. Inside. Yeah.
Listen what I'm about to say, right here as a musician, as I ambition, these flows that I'm spitting, these flows from my imagination, as I saw the education of 2020 fall with the COVID pandemic. Understand that it was hectic as I saw children walking around buildings. They weren't feeling anything, everything was not in the cut like an incision. And I just feel like I gotta bring it back right here as a musician, because I just felt a lot of children were falling. And I relate to the youth because I relate to the youth. Understand when I see through their eyes, I see myself and I see you. I see their vision and I see what's right here in their mind, because I just feel like their life was all in a demise.
Protect your lives, no more goodbye. Life is what you design. Might survive. Protect your lives, no more goodbye. Life is what you design. Social distance yourself, trying to keep up my health. 6 feet ain't enough when you give up a breath. 9 times out of 10 we can give it a win. If you keep up with Vax, 2020 will bend, and all in the end it will be a win. Might survive. Protect your lives, no more goodbye. Life is what you design. Might survive. Protect your lives, no more goodbye. Life is what you design.
I said, we can ride 'em, cowboy, I let the beat bop. Reese called me, told me hop up on the beatbox. Out the way, I don't care about what the streets got. One of a kind in my prime, like a G-Shock. It's only G's over here, this the G-spot. They threw Corona at us, that's a cheap shot. Just to be safe, I'ma go and get a V-shot. Don't mind the way I started, I am gonna go retarded. Government keep trying to play us, this system so retarded. They should elect me cause they need to be demoted, so we can find out what's up with COVID.
Might survive. Protect your lives, no more goodbye. Life is what you design. Might survive. Protect your lives, no more goodbye. Life is what you design.
COVID-19 has been messing up the green. Pandemic paper, everybody chasing green, but we've been on this paper route since we was 14. COVID just hit the scene when I turned 19, turning on the news. I couldn't fathom what I seen. People stealing toilet paper, water jugs and everything. Man, y'all knowing what I mean. It was crazy on the scene. SBA loan, counting up Uncle Sam's green. Man, y'all knowing what I mean. This was crazy on the scene. 100K is up for grabs. Everybody seeing green. Masked up like a robber. But yeah, it's for my health. And I can't go to work. I'm testing negative on health.
Might survive. Protect your lives, no more goodbye. Life is what you design. Might survive. Protect your lives, no more goodbye. Life is what you design.
All right, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Hopefully that was a nice hydrating break for you. We are ready to honor our awardees. Tonight we have come not only to talk about the legacy of Amelia Ann Adams, but also to talk about the connection that we still see of the work that she did continuing in our community. And we want to honor 4 community leaders who have continued to be a bridge over health, faith, education, and social justice. Now, we focus on these 4 areas because these are areas that Amelia Ann Adams dedicated her life to. She felt it was her life purpose to help others in health. She advocated for health services and resources. She advocated for and helped to secure a co-located health clinic for Southeast Stockton residents in the airport corridor. Some of you are familiar with CUF. She led the development of a congregation-led health ministry. She partnered with St. Joseph's Parish Nurse Program to have a nurse come and work within her congregation. She served as a spiritual mentor and facilitator of the Shades of Survivors program at St. Joseph Medical Center, which some of you may be aware of that program. And overall, she just advocated for health for all. In the area of faith, Pastor Adams pastored for 33 years right here in the city of Stockton at the Open Door House of Prayer. She worked not only with her congregation, but in partnership with other pastors in order to be a blessing to people in the community. She worked on interdenominational efforts to help in healthcare, homelessness, crime, education, and employment. While working with other pastors, she helped coordinate prayer walks, policy advocacy, equitable resources for the Central Valley. And in her work as a pastor, she welcomed and helped families that were devastated by violence to lay to rest their loved ones. In the area of education, Pastor Adams majored in education when she was in college, and she worked as a school teacher for the Stockton Unified School District. She also started her own school in her home where she brought children in and taught them. And then she helped to create an alternative school for youth that were expelled or in danger of expulsion. And she did that work through the Boys and Girls Club, where she was an administrator and a teacher for this alternative high school for youth at risk. Also, she was here for the founding of the Amelia Ann Adams Scholarship, and she provided the first funding for the scholarship that was started in her name. So education was definitely a big part of Pastor Adams' life. Social justice. For social justice, she advocated for the formerly incarcerated and system-impacted youth. She was known for her activism for South Stockton. She was known all over the country for her activism for South Stockton. She also helped create a diversion program. She served youth in the juvenile hall. Pastor Adams committed her life to serving the ignored, the invisible, the innocent through community organizing, program development, and policy advocacy. She also brought awareness to the disproportionality of African American children in the foster youth care system. Her life was about social justice, even as you heard her speaking earlier this evening. So tonight we are so excited for our honorees to share with you the work that they're doing to impact lives right here in our own city of Stockton and beyond. So I'd like to introduce our first awardee for Bridges Over Health Award. I'll let us get to her picture so you can see this honoree. This is Dr. Anitra Williams. Ooh, and all the applause goes, they go wild over Dr. Anitra Williams, sorority sister for the Deltas. She's also an RN. She's a mother of two, and she's married to her high school sweetheart for 30 years. She began her nursing career at St. Joseph Medical Center in 1999. I know. She doesn't look like she could be working that long, but she has. And there she worked as a staff nurse, a charge nurse, and then in various leadership roles until finally assuming the role as vice president and chief nursing officer. Through her leadership, Dr. Anitra Williams has implemented and developed numerous and life-changing programs with impacts reaching beyond the walls of her organization. She established a framework for a new nurse graduate program. She volunteers her time every semester to local nursing schools, mentoring nursing students. Her passion to educate and lead are also apparent in her work and efforts around human trafficking and the co-founding and naming of a nursing pathway called the HOPE program. Through her leadership, numerous victims have been identified at St. Joseph's Medical Center. Dr. Williams continues the fight and her work through San Joaquin County's Human Trafficking Task Force, where she worked to establish similar protocols in other healthcare facilities. She has also collaborated with nurse leaders from San Joaquin Delta College, and assisted with the development of a pathway that would allow healthcare workers who are often in low-income roles to elevate and become registered nurses. This program, apparently, which has been appropriately named HOPE, has, excuse me, lost my place. Program named HOPE created opportunities that allow the working class to get ahead through this program. To date, 48 individuals have become registered nurses who would have otherwise never been afforded this opportunity. One of her recent HOPE graduates, Brandy Ross, was quoted as saying, "Dr. Williams, this program, HOPE, changed my life and the life of my family. Without the HOPE program, I would have never had the opportunity to become a registered nurse because my grades were not perfect. But this program gave me the opportunity I needed. And today I proudly serve as an intensive care unit nurse." Let's give a round of applause and a congratulations to Dr. Anitra. Congratulations, congratulations. You are so deserving of this award. We will give you a few moments to have words this time.
Thank you so much, Sor. So I'd first like to start out by just thanking the board of Amelia Ann Adams Whole Life Center for the work that you do in this community. I'm excited to be working with the Sister Coach program because there definitely is some opportunity in our maternal child care area. So there's no denying that there's opportunity for healthcare facilities to realize that there is inequity and disparities as far as the treatment that we provide to people of color. So I'm very excited to work and collaborate with you all more as the days pass on. But I also want to just really thank you for tapping into the many pillars of our community and taking the time to recognize us for our efforts and contributions. And while I did not know your grandmother personally, Christina, I have heard of Reverend Adams. You know, growing up, I've been in Stockton for over now 30 years. And reading and learning more about her, I was truly humbled that I was selected for this award. And at the same time, I feel like if she were here, she would truly be proud of me and the many efforts and contributions that I have given to this community. So whether it is my work as it relates to human trafficking, where we've been able to rescue and identify victims as young as the age of 14 and reunite them with their family, or the 19-year-old girl who is held captive and trafficked all across our state for 3 years. And because of the training and education that I was able to provide to my labor and delivery staff, the moment her predator left the room, they quickly intervened. And after 3 horrible years, she has since been reunited with her family. Or the HOPE program that Miss Angela just kind of shared with you all. I named that program Helping Our People Elevate because the reality is it's people of color that sometimes our dreams are put on hold, whether it's, we find ourselves becoming pregnant or going through various challenges, and maybe we can't go to a 4-year college and we end up in jobs that just allow us to sustain ourselves. So to be able to, but yet we have dreams. So we're going to school, but we can't get that perfect GPA. And so I met over 100 people who wanted to become registered nurses, but because they had to work full time, their GPAs were 2.5 or 2.8. So I went in and worked with some of my colleagues at San Joaquin Delta College, and with some support of community founders or funders at our hospital, St. Joseph's Medical Center, as well as Adventist Hospital, we were able to provide the hospital-based instructors so that we could implement this program. And I called it Helping Our People Elevate because grades don't necessarily matter. You have committed people that are working as certified nursing assistants or medical assistants or ED techs. And yeah, they don't have a 4.0 GPA, but they are committed to serving our people and our community. And those are the people that I want to help. Those are the people that I want to bridge that, provide them a bridge to get over that water so that they can get to the other side and achieve their dreams. And it's just through God's grace that I've been able to be positioned in places and spaces that have allowed me to do the work. And I'm just extremely humbled and grateful that you all would recognize me for this honor. And it's an honor and award that I'm gonna cherish and hold dear. And so again, thank you very much for selecting me for this award. And please be assured that, like your grandmother, like Reverend Adams, I'm not going to stop working. I'm not going to stop giving back to this community and using and leveraging my power and my position to influence and make the change necessary until I can elevate as many folks out of their current position and their current state and help them realize their dreams. So I'm in it to win it. And I feel blessed to be a part of this community, and thank you for honoring me.
Excellent, 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 excellent. Thank you so much, Dr. Williams. What an honor, what an honor. We're glad to have you as a part of our community. Our next Bridges award goes to Bridges Over Faith Award, and this is to Pastor Foley Ashalu. There you see his picture on the screen. Faith, vision, and leadership. Foley, Pastor Foley, as he is so lovingly called, is a very passionate and God-fearing visionary leader who lives a purpose-driven life. He is deeply committed, he's deeply committed to ensuring those within the Black community are well-resourced, and personally first has transformed mind and family, fully equipped and empowered to better affect their community. He loves to model authentic leadership for youth, family, and society, which he believes the youth desire from their elders. He is a person of strong faith foundation with aggressive pursuit for God and the Lord Jesus Christ. He has an over 30-year of volunteering used his spirituality for guiding young people and individuals to self-care and support towards a healthy life and family. His greatest passion is to continually, personally know more of the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the communion of the Holy Spirit, 2 Corinthians 13:15. He would also love to see a transformed and united church that is composed of individual believers who are Christ-centered in every day-to-day decision-making and action, while in relationship with people and the society, bringing more souls to the kingdom in preparation for our Lord's return. Foley has successfully worked both in US and overseas for over 25 years as a college engineering instructor, a career he willingly abandoned for a long time divine calling to full-time community service. This community service work he had been doing in a volunteer capacity since 1992, either as youth leader minister and as associate pastor in Nigeria, where he was raised, before migrating to Stockton, California in 2005, where he continues his faith-based work. His greetings and signature is God bless you. He continues to work for his community, providing resources and engaging the Stockton Black population around policy push, advocacy, and literacy towards equity and empowerment for the Black community. He is a 26-year happily married man to Bridget, both of whom have responsibly raised 4 children. Congratulations, Pastor Foley. We applaud you and give you this opportunity to have words.
Good evening, everyone. I want to say God bless you all. Thank you. I appreciate this opportunity given me by the Board of Trustees of the Amelia Adams All Life Center. It's a great privilege, highly unexpected. but my mind keeps running to and fro, and like, how have I been able to bring this into reality of being chosen at Bridge Over Faith in Stockton? Today is, if you don't know, today is very memorial, 2004, and I was heading back here. I was trying to go to, I know what God asked me to do, and he told me specifically what you are coming here to do does not have anything to do with your engineering background, which I was passionately doing with all my energy, all my strength, and I was initially trying to pursue my PhD here in UC Davis in engineering, things I've researched very well before I ever came here. So, but it came clear to me when he told me, "You coming here not for that." So, so getting here, it's a privilege to get connected to the community. And just before leaving Nigeria, I was asking God, so I need some measure of degree to prove my worth of what you have called me to do. And he clearly said, "Don't worry, I'm going to introduce you." As an engineer? No. As a pastor that I've been doing for that. So that's why I said there is so memorial to be chosen as Bridge Over Faith is Stockton, for the work that Pastor Amelia Adams has started. So very memorial, and I cannot forget, it just crossed my mind that could that be the reason why I had to stop over there? And if that is the purpose, then God has definitely accomplished what he has said, in about 17 years ago, So that being said, the opportunity I have to cross over to this place, I didn't take it lightly. It was very significant to me. And someone might said, "What has faith got to do with social work?" Of course, how do you imagine Jesus came into the world? When he came to the world, what he came to do, basically and totally, was a social work, and that was why he was killed by people who are operating a system that was contrary to what the divinity wants him to execute in humanity. So basically, it's centered on helping people getting through to their destiny and they're realizing their purpose. So, and I had opportunity of, working with an agency where I began to learn about people that I'm trying to work with, because if I don't know them, I will help people. Even when I'm on the pulpit, you're probably going to be condemning people because you don't know them. So I had the opportunity to meet with people. And I'm just going to share just one testimony of one of my co-worker that I work with, my place of work before the last one. He had a gunshot that penetrated his stomach and his hand, and he was in the hospital. And God told me that I should go there and pray for him. So I'm like, what am I going to do there? You just pray for him, And I went to the general hospital, and the whole staff of the agency were told not to go. But I didn't know, because I was already almost halfway when the email got in there that he needed a rest. So I went there and I just prayed for him. And the one thing God told me was that when the doctor comes back, he's going to ask you what happened to you overnight. I said, get ready to tell him that Jesus touched you. Okay. So, and just pray for him, and he left the place. And he said, exactly, that was what doctor asked him. What happened to you? How did you get over the healing so fast? And so I wanted to know that kind of purpose for which he sent me here, is coming to reality, not judging him why he was shot, why he wasn't shot, not thinking about that. So it's a great pleasure for me to be here in your midst and to be able to share my, connection that I have with every one of you in the city of Stockton. And I want to say God bless you for this great privilege. I wish the Amelia Adams, a very, very long leap into the fulfillment of the dream that Pastor Amelia Adams is foreseen in Stockton. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And God bless you all. And God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pastor Foley. God bless you. God bless you. What inspiring words. We love that. It was so wonderful hearing from both of our first two awardees. We have more to go. We're going to take another brief break. This is your chance to hydrate, stay hydrated. You know, it's like 108 in Stockton today. Be sure you check out our silent auction that helps support the work that the Amelia Ann Adams Whole Life Center is doing, and continue to take those selfies, post it, post it, post it. Come on, don't let Pandora win. Just kidding, but post your selfies in Facebook and in Instagram and go on the silent auction, and we'll be back together and just at 6:06. All right, 6:06, we'll be back. Enjoy the music, stretch, and have a drink. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you were able to hydrate during that break. Ready to continue on. I see a few smiles. Yeah, we're ready. Hopefully you had a chance to check out the silent auction. Have some great things there. Thank you so much to all those who were able to donate and give toward that. We're going to continue on with our awards. We're moving into our Bridges Over Education. Tonight's honoree is Mrs. Annette Roberts Murray. Mrs. Murray has a Master's of Education. She also possesses a BA in Social Science and a credential in Educational Administration. She is an elementary school principal and the author of 3 books, Pandemonium, My Father's Daughter, and Be Encouraged, a 52-week devotional. And she is a co-author of 1 book, and that book is called Unshakable Faith. Annette has worked in the field of education for over 23 years. She has spent her educational career advocating for students, working with parents and community members, and working hard to support student learning. Annette has worked hard to support students by providing them with resources they need to succeed. Annette counts it a privilege to have offered more than 23 years of service as an educational leader, school principal, and a student, parent, and community advocate. She has worked with many different parent groups. Annette has also facilitated ministry conferences and delivered commencement keynote speeches. She has launched food and coat drives, and she has spearheaded dental clinics at her school sites, all very important. Annette considers it a privilege to have been given the opportunity to serve her community. Annette is a longtime member of Victory and Praise Church in Stockton, California. She is a passionate prayer leader, worship team leader, and committed member of the church's vibrant women's ministry. Annette is a beloved wife and mother of twin boys. Congratulations, Annette. We are so proud of you, and we honor you tonight with this Bridges Over Education Award. The floor is yours.
Ms. Phillips, I don't see her on.
Oh, okay. Well, her bio speaks for her. She has done a lot of great work, and we congratulate Annette. If you know Annette, be sure to congratulate her in person, and I'm sure that the board will make sure we get her award to her. If she does come on, let us know, and we'll give her a chance to speak. We'll continue on with our celebration, moving over to our Bridges Over Social Justice Award. Tonight's honoree is Ms. Jasmine Delafoss. Jasmine Delafoss is from Stockton, California, where she began her work. And I'm sure everybody on here probably knows Jasmine. I think everyone in Stockton knows Jasmine. She began her organizing career in South Stockton. In 2013, she began interning for council member Michael Tubbs, who was the youngest ever elected official in the city and in the county. In 2014, she was the youngest ever field organizer at age 19, working for Congressmember Jerry McNerney. She organized over 100 volunteers to canvass and phone bank for the off-year election, where they won. Congratulations. We know that's a lot of hard work to do. They won their race with over 60% of the vote. She later became one of the founding members of Reinvent South Stockton Coalition in early 2014, an organization that aims to empower its residents to transform the community through improving safety, education, housing, job creation, and health. She was also one of the co-founders and founding members of the Stockton Schools Initiative that began in 2015, where she worked with students and families to fight for educational change through policy. She has helped advocate she has helped advocate to bring ethnic studies into schools push for college career and community readiness in schools. She has led the charge for many projects, including pushing to dismantle the school to prison pipeline work, advocating for restorative justice and investments in counselors and restorative justice coordinators. She was successful by co-authoring a restorative justice resolution that passed in Stockton Unified School District in 2019 with a 6-0 vote. Through her work, she has been able to cultivate and train hundreds of youth to be change agents in their own city. She continues to serve on several committees, such as the California Endowment President's Youth Council. She's the former secretary of the San Joaquin Democratic Party 2016 through 2019, the San Joaquin County Democratic Delegate for California Dems, Boys and Men of Color Alliance member, Stockton Education Equity Coalition, and Visionary Home Builders board member. She's also a board member for Be Smooth, Inc. She's a part of Student Success and Leadership Academy Board, as well as the Stockton Scholars Community Advisory Board. She's also on several other partnerships that she's involved with. Jasmine will continue to dedicate her time and heart to uplift, empower, and equip the future generation to reach their highest potential. She recently was awarded the Key to the City, that was in 2018, from Mayor Michael Tubbs. And she was presented with a mural dedication for her hard work. And has she done a lot of hard work? My goodness. That mural was dedicated in April of 2018, and it was commissioned by Brandon Mike Odoms. Jasmine is now serving as the senior regional organizer with the Gathering for Justice. She is eager to get started and get on the ground with community and stakeholders across the state. She looks forward to working on a campaign to close youth prisons in California, and she's committed to ensuring that community, youth, families, and community-based organizations have a seat at the table in reimagining alternatives in incarceration for children and youth. Let's give a big round of applause and congratulations to Jasmine Delafoss. Great, great work, Jasmine.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Phillips, and thank you to everyone here. First of all, I'm just really humbled and honored for this award. I was like, first, when I got this award, I was like, first of all, I never had a plaque. So I just want to say thank you. So I'm like, oh, I actually came this one up because every time I never get one that's like a plaque like that. So just want to say this is my first ever. You know, like many others, I was like, am I going to be the one who shares stories of Pastor Adams? You know, many times there's a lot of people who feel like they were so close to Pastor Adams. And I will just share that I feel like I was one of those, even though I know that that may not be totally true. But I was 17 years old when I had the opportunity of meeting Pastor Adams, as she was, again, one of the co-founders as well with the Reinvent South Stockton Coalition, and was really one of the driving anchors to the foundation that was built in my early years. And it was people like her who really just paved the way for young people like me. And it's crazy because when I think back at who Pastor Adams was now, and like me understanding sort of how much she has done, it just kind of it speaks to where we are today. And so I just wanted to thank you all for this incredible honor, because I think having the opportunity to have met Pastor Adams in the last years of her life, it meant really the world to me to be able to be honored with this award. It is one of the most precious and special awards that I've ever received, because of me knowing how committed and diligent and important and valuable she was to our community, and how I knew how genuine her leadership was in the opportunities that I had with her. And I just wanted to acknowledge her before anything, and also acknowledge many of the women who are here on this call. Women like you, Miss Phillips, Miss Angela Phillips, like Christina Peeples, like Tawnice. I see Angel Ann, and I see so many other, Pandora, Anitra, and all of the amazing women who've impacted my life, including Roslyn Burst, who's also not here with us today, but has played an incredible role in my journey as a young person who really got into social justice because many of the conversations that I've had with her, and many people who I've really just got to learn from and hear and sit at their feet and really be able to understand the role and lane that I had. Because of their sacrifice, I feel like I was able to really understand my lane and what contributions I could contribute to this work. And I think one of the most important things that I learned about Pastor Adams was that she believed that really there was a lane for everybody and that everyone had a role in our community, no matter how big or small, no matter what your education was, and no matter where you lived. She oftentimes said, whether you're from the South side, the North side, the East side, or the West side, that, there was always room for all of us. And I think it was because of that principle of her teachings, it really made me understand the role of social justice. As someone who grew up in church and grew up in faith, I couldn't be remiss without using Bridges Over Many Waters and really understanding that when I think about sort of Jesus's role and Pastor Adams's role, right? Going through troubled waters. And what Jesus did was he made a miracle through that storm. And I've seen Pastor Adams' life be also a testament to making miracles out of nothing, making rice out of beans, and being able to contribute to a whole community. And I just wanted to encourage all of us that we can do the same thing, that many of us have been through troubled waters in so many different ways. And it's up to us to continue to go through and be able to settle these troubled waters through issues that are impacting our communities, like education, like the criminal justice system, and that when we see injustice, that we continue to just uproot injustice that is happening in our community. And so I'm just so incredibly proud. One of the things Pastor Adams had shared with us is to share our gifts and to speak our truth. And I encourage everyone here to continue to speak your truth, to continue to show up in whatever ways and capacity you have, and for you to really dive into what your gifts are. And it took me a long time to really understand what my gifts were and what my truth was. But I think because of the voices of our elders and the powerful women who are on this call, and men, and others like Foley and Pastor Curtis, who I see here, I want to thank you for your investments and prayers and continued support, because I couldn't have made it in my journey. And I know that the work that I've been able to do is not really because of me, but because of everyone who stood with our communities and young people and families. And so I dedicate this to them, because a lot of the work that we've done cannot be done by one person. And so I recognize this award is, while it may be honored for me, I just want to dedicate it to our young people and the many community fighters who are continuing to show up in our communities every single day, fighting against injustice, continuing to show up when we don't even have the capacity to do so. And so I just wanted to thank you. This is an incredible honor, and I'm so proud of the work that AAWLC is doing, and I continue to look forward to support the work that you all are doing. And I look forward to celebrating one day in person all of these wonderful victories, and I pray that we continue to build and do this work that God has called us to do, and that we remain steadfast, and that we continue to do what is righteous and what is just for our communities. And so, like Pastor Curtis always says, that the biblical justice is, I'm ruining it now, but Pastor Curtis, you always wear the shirt, but I forgot what it says. But it was something about justice is biblical, something like that. But hopefully you can help me out, because I forgot what it was. But anyways, thank you so much. hopefully you could correct me in the chat what the real quote was, because I live by that. We'll hope to try to live by that. But thank you all. Thank you so much. Justice is not political, it's biblical. Yes, that's right.
Thank you for coming through, Pastor Curtis. All right. That was so inspiring, Jasmine. We love you and we thank God for what he's using you to do, and such an inspiration to young people, of course, but older people as well. So thank you so much. One more big round of applause. You can put some reactions up for all of our Bridges Over Water awardees for tonight. We thank God for them and for what they're doing and how they're going to continue to impact our community. You're going to get one more chance with another quick break to impact the work that's happening at the Amelia Ann Adams Whole Life Center by giving. Be sure that you support the Amelia Ann Adams Whole Life Center, and one of many ways. You can go on Venmo, that's been posted there. You can also find it inside of your digital program. You can also go on Amazon Smile. I am not going to even ask who shops on Amazon, because if you're breathing, you most likely shop on Amazon. And so if you do, you can sign up through Amazon Smile. A small portion of your purchases will be given as a donation to the Amelia Ann Adams Whole Life Center. And there are other ways to give. Jocelyn is posting it in the chat. I also want to make you aware of the silent auction. Some of you have been hesitant probably to put your credit card information in, because you're like, what if I don't win? Will they charge me? No, you will only be charged if you are the winner. So go ahead and bid in the silent auction. And let's be sure to support this great work that the Amelia Ann Adams Whole Life Center is doing. We'll have one more short break and we'll start right back up here again in about 3 minutes at 6:26. All right. Remember to keep posting your selfies. If you haven't had a chance, use this as the time to post your selfie. We will have 2 winners, one from Instagram, one from Facebook. You will each win a $50 Visa gift card, that you can spend at Amazon. And if you sign up for Amazon Smile, you can also give a portion of your gift back to the Amelia Ann Adams Whole Life Center just for playing and shopping. So be sure to post your selfie on Instagram and Facebook. All right, welcome back. We have been having a great evening. It's been so good to hear from all of our awardees, and we are going to continue on with the celebration, hearing from the Executive Director of the Amelia Ann Adams Whole Life Center, Christina Peeples.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips. So I'm going to try to do this without crying. A couple of years, I was crying for Bridges Over Water for Miss Adams. And unfortunately, today we will be giving an award. Not unfortunately, it's unfortunate to be able to honor our awardee, but really sad that Miss Roslyn wouldn't be here with us today. I do want to share a little bit about Miss Roz. If you don't know her, Miss Roz, I wish you could have met her. Miss Roz was someone who definitely kept it real. Roslyn, I first met Roslyn when I was working at Cuff out in South Stockton, and she was one of our first participants in Empowered Women of Excellence in 2010. And whenever she would tell the story about how she got connected to Empowered Women of Excellence, you were just in awe about her story and her journey towards healing and really living out her purpose. And Miss Roslyn was the one who gave me a really hard time in my class when I first introduced Empowered Women of Excellence to her. One of the applications, it asked like a lot of personal background information. And Ms. Roslyn wrote in her application, I need to see a face to this person that's asking me all of my business. And she didn't answer the questions. And so she said, oh, they're not going to accept me. Nobody's going to accept me if I'm talking to them like this. And so I called her, like, guess what? You got accepted into the program. And so she said she comes in and she just couldn't believe that someone would accept her into the program after how she talked to me in this application. And when she walked in the room and saw Miss Adams, she said, oh Lord, I'm in for something. And so Miss Roslyn would tell this story every year when we would do our orientation for Empowered Women of Excellence. And if you knew Roslyn, she was going to tell you about Empowered Women of Excellence. And you know, one of the things I loved about her is that she really applied what she learned. And, you know, we tell a lot of the women when they come to Empower Women of Excellence, we can talk to you till we blue in the face, but it's up to you to put the work in. And Miss Roslyn definitely put that work in. And so we were so honored to be able to hire Miss Roslyn. Like I said, we did a lot of this work before we even had funding, before we were a 501c3. And when we had the privilege to be able to get our first grant, we knew we were going to hire Miss Roslyn. And so Miss Roslyn, she took so much care into working with her participants. They loved Miss Roslyn. They were coming to her house night and day. And when I say she would break her back for her participants, she would break her back for her participants. And so one of the things that I really admired about Miss Roslyn was that she didn't care who you were, where you came from, what you did. Miss Roslyn was going to show up for you. And she definitely did that for South Stockton. Like if you ask any resident in South Stockton, they know Miss Roz. They know Miss Roz. She was well respected, and I really miss her. She really implemented a lot of the work that we did in working out in South Stockton. And one of the great things that I admired about Miss Roz is that it didn't matter if you had a degree or not. She really invested and she spent her time with people. And when Miss Roz didn't have a lot of transportation, she would use her own money to get people to come to these healing support groups. And so she was blessed because she blessed other people. And so I am so honored that we had a privilege to be able to work with Miss Roslyn. We definitely miss her and we love her. And so when she passed away, it was really hard, not only for her family, but it was also hard for the people that she served, because she served people. That's what her whole life was about, was serving and giving back to her community. And if you ask Miss Roslyn, she loved her community. She loved her community. And so when she passed, one of her really good friends, Reverend Williams, he got together with her family and us at the Whole Life Center and really wanted to continue her legacy and not let her legacy go away. And so we're so blessed to be able to have our first Roslyn Burst Community Activist Award. And to get this award, you have a lot of big shoes to fill, some big shoes to fill. This was really hard to really say, how are we going to like really define what this looked like? And so what we decided as a group was that we wanted to give this award away to someone who embodied what Roslyn was, who embodied really championing for South Stockton. And oftentimes when we recognize people, we want to recognize people with titles, right? We want to recognize people who are in position. And so when me and her daughter Liz were talking about kind of like selecting criteria, I said, I know Miss Roz. We got to make sure it's an actual resident, because Miss Roz was about her people. And that was the thing, right? A lot of times we want to honor those people with titles, but not really honor the people that are on the ground doing the work. And so I'm so honored to be able to give this award away. But before I introduce our honoree, I just want to give a moment to see if her daughter Liz has anything else that she would like to add about her mother or the work that she did. I'm just going to pause just to see if there's anything you wanted to add, Liz.
Yeah, can I say it after you do the honoree?
Yes. So we'll come back to you after. But before I introduce the honoree, I'm going to ask Jocelyn if she could play a video. And it's so fitting. It just came to me when I was working on the slides. I said, you know what? It would be awesome if I had a video of Miss Roz talking. And I actually do have a video of Miss Roz talking. And let me play the video first, and then I'll come back. So I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to ask Joss if you could play the video.
What I would love to happen on Kelly Drive is for Kelly Drive to have a park for their children, to be healthy, to be safe, to be able to have an area of your own to play. You have to go there. When nobody else want to go there, you still have an obligation to go there and to be of service to those families. And at the end of the day, your job is done when you teach that family how to learn and advocate and to teach someone else next door to next door.
So that was a video of Ms. Roz sharing some of the success work that we did on Kelly Drive. And so she's known for the work that she did in South Stockton, but that's not the only area that she supported. And so Ms. Roslyn was one of our community leaders that really supported residents on Kelly Drive. And in this video, when I watched it again, I said, here she is too, encouraging people to give back, to invest, to use their gifts and talents. And so when we really looked at who we would give this award to, there were many people that were nominated. And we decided to give it to this young lady who I met a while ago. And she definitely reminds me of Miss Roz. If you know Pandora, she keeps it 100. And if you don't like it, she don't care. She gonna tell you anyways. And she definitely cares about her community. She cares about her community. Pandora is definitely someone who really supports a lot of the residents in Conway. I remember I was doing a listening session at Team Charter, and Pandora had a lot to say. And when I found out, you know, who she was, and Miss Ross was like, yeah, that's one of my participants. I said, oh, Lord. And so Pandora, when I found out she was actually transporting kids from Conway to Team Charter on Main Street. And that just shows you the type of person and the woman that she is. And so we're also honored and blessed to be able to honor you, Pandora. You so deserve this award. And I know if Miss Roslyn was here, she would want you to have this award. She definitely would want you to have this award. And there has been many a times where she has really bragged about you and shared how much she loves you and how much your heart is for the community. So Pandora, I love you, and I'm going to pass the mic to you if there's anything you would like to share.
I didn't even make it through the video, so I'm already crying. And most of you know I am the Conway crybaby. It's what I do. It's what I'm great at. First of all, I am so honored, and this award hits different for me. One, I don't think I've ever won an award before. I mean, short of, I think, like something maybe school or a bowling trophy. Got a bowling trophy once. But Roslyn was my world. She was the one that I went to when I was mad, because dealing with people some days are not the day, you know. There are days where you're just like, nope, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it. I can't do it, and I won't do it. And I would call her, and she always just, I don't know. She was a powerful human. She didn't even have to say anything for me to know that I was doing the right thing. And I remember my very first backpack giveaway. Michael Tubbs was the very first person to ever get me started with the backpack giveaway. And I remember calling Roslyn saying, I don't know what to do with all of this. What do I do? And she drove out there last second. She drove to Van Buskirk while Michael and them were all there, and they were giving me backpacks. She's like, all right, we're doing it this way. And if they don't like it, they can go somewhere else and find a backpack. So I was like, oh, okay. And so everything I do in this community, I do with her in my back of my head, telling me where I'm right and where I'm wrong. And I really, truly believe I can hear her telling me that. And today we were able to give out over 250 backpacks. And the whole time I could do nothing but think about how much I wanted her there to see how amazing it was. So it's her fault that I get so deep in everything. And I appreciate this so much. And this just means the world to me. And I'm not going to get through the whole thing that I had planned to say. So I appreciate all of you more than anything. Pastor Curtis, you were the very first human I met when I came to Stockton. And to be able to still be able to cross paths with you and work with you is amazing. And Jasmine Delafoss has managed to get me into some interesting situations that I have enjoyed deeply and learned to grow from. And Angela, poor Angela. Angela has endured a lot of my I don't take nothing from nobody type of attitude. And then, you know, and Christina, I've had such an honor of getting to work with you. And I feel like I do what I do, not because of any other reason, but because it's in my head, it's what somebody with a good heart should be doing. We should be helping our community rise up, not necessarily giving them hands out, but we need to give them a hand up and help them help them maneuver this world with the resources and getting through all the strife and pain and joy and accomplishments that come with it. And I appreciate everybody, and I love Stockton for embracing me when I moved here. So thank you again.
Thank you, Pandora. Thank you. Liz, I'm going to pass it to you.
I mean, I actually wrote it down because I felt like I'd get emotional today. Yesterday marks, for me, the 1 month countdown to the day we lost my mother. So I wrote down what to say. So it says, congrats, Pandora. I'm very pleased that you were chosen for the first Roslyn Burst Community Activist Award. My mother frequently spoke highly of your heart, your fight, and your drive to improve access and equity for your community. I can't think of someone more deserving of this moment. I know that you will continue to move forward with the same passion and drive for equity and equality for your community and for those you serve. On behalf of my family, but most of all on behalf of my amazing mother, I want to say congratulations, and that we can't wait to see everything that you will accomplish moving forward. Congratulations.
Thank you, Liz, and thank you, Pandora. And I will pass to Ms. Phillips.
Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. This is a chance for all of us to get involved, hearing all the way back from Jasmine sharing her love for her community and all the work she's done. For those who never had the privilege of meeting Miss Roslyn Burst, you've heard about her love, and now hearing from our honoree Pandora, we've heard about her love and commitment to her community, to our community of Stockton. So now we want to hear from you. I want you to go to your chat box, and you're going to show us just how much you love, or what reaction emoji shows your love and care for this community. How do you work for Stockton? Now, remember, Pastor Adams was an educator, so we're going to do it the school way. We're going to wait until I say go before you press enter, so that we can do what's called a waterfall. So we'll see everyone's reaction at one time, and it comes in so strong and powerful. Now, this is how you do it. Look at the bottom of your screen and click chat. Once you open up chat, make sure it says to everyone, because that's where your message is going to go. And then you'll see either it'll say emoji, or there'll be like a smiley face there. Click on that face and find the one that represents your love for Stockton. What does your work look like? Okay. And so you can click it at any time, but don't click enter until we say go. All right. So hopefully you have found your emoji. Give you a few minutes. Do you love this community? Are you cool about your service? Are you happily serving? Are you angrily serving? You know, you're passionate and it comes out as anger. What does your love and your service for Stockton look like? All right. Anybody need me to wait? If you need me to wait, say wait. Oh, well, if you probably can't find a mute, huh? Ready? Press enter, go. Ooh, I see the hearts. I see the love. I see the chain. Somebody's chained to it. Yes, their heart and their praise all into it. Yes, yes, yes. If you didn't get in on it, it's not too late. Show us your love for the community. Maybe you say, I can't find that emoji, but I want to put some words in. I love Stockton. I'm committed to serving Stockton. I don't know what's going on. Oh, I think the sun is shining in. It's coming on. All right. So I'm kind of disappearing, but I'll try to get in here. All right. I'm here, just looking like a ghost, but we are committed to for the commitment. Praise God for all of you and all you do to make this city strong with your passion and with your service. And we look forward to seeing who will be the second recipient next year of the Roslyn Burst Award. Congratulations. Congratulations. All right. Okay, so we are going to move on to another special award, and this is the Amelia Ann Adams Scholarship Award. Now, this award is being, of course, as I mentioned earlier, it was first funded by Amelia Adams, and the purpose of this award is to encourage young and mature students, both young and mature students, entering into pursuing a career in education, health, social justice, or the health services areas. The scholarship was applied. We had 11 students who applied for the scholarship, and we have a winner. And today we are going to hear from Cherie Vance, who is representing Pastor Adams' children. She's one of her children, and in representation of them and the scholarship committee, she will let you know who's receiving our Amelia Ann Adams 2022 Scholarship Award. Cherie, I pass it to you.
Thank you, Angie. Good evening, everyone. First, I want to say, Christina, thank you for carrying this event on, putting it on, and thank you for all the work that you do in Mom's honor. I know it's not easy, but you've been trained by the best, so you're not only Stockton strong, but you are Amelia Ann Adams strong. So thank you so much, and I love you. I just wanted to openly acknowledge you. So I am Amelia Adams' baby daughter, Cherie. I'm not involved in the community as much as I should be, but just hearing all the stuff that's going on. I am a sister coach. I do have a regular job, but I will be volunteering more in the community, as I know my mom would appreciate that. So our first recipient for the Amelia Ann Adams Scholarship, as well as the Brandon Harrison Scholarship from Be Smooth Inc., is Marissa Duterte. I hope I did not slaughter your last name. Marissa says, I graduated from Ronald E. McNair High School with a 4.3, GPA. I plan to attend Cornell University next year. I want to pursue a public policy. In my time as the ASB president and my nonprofit work, I've been able to see the educational disparities between communities of color and low-income neighborhoods. These issues have become normal and systematic, and I believe changing this starts in government policy. I want to start with policy on paper and reflect solution to social issues on my career path. And so, Marissa, we award you today with $1,500, $1,000 from the Amelia Ann Adams Center, and $500 from Be Smooth Inc. Marissa, would you like to speak?
Thank you. Thank you so much. So hello, my name is Marissa Duterte, and I am now a class of 2022 alumni from McNair High School. I was actually born and raised here in Stockton. I'm also joined by my parents, Elisa and Alex. So in my time in high school, I've been able to start a Rotary Interact Club at McNair High School and also serve on my student government as ASB president. I've also been able to serve on the Lodi Unified School Board as a student rep. I am so happy to be an Amelia Adams Scholarship recipient this year. Next year, I'll be a little ways from home at Cornell University over in Ithaca, New York. And as said, I'll be studying public policy. In the last few years, I've been able to see the educational disparities between communities of color and low-income neighborhoods. With a 501c3 nonprofit I've started with a couple of friends, it's called Beyond Good Intent. We've been able to run programs which specialize in providing Stockton students with adequate materials for both online and in-person learning. Issues within the education system have become a normal and systematic issue, and I believe changing this really does start with government policy. Which is also why I've decided to study public policy. I want to start with policy on paper and reflect real solutions to social issues in my career. Currently, I'm interning for a local congressman, and I'd love to see where it takes me, as I think participation in local elections is one of the most important solutions to fixing our issues. I really just hope to be half as amazing as some of the speakers here, as the organizers here. And I also really just want to thank the Amelia Ann Adams organization for the work you guys do in Stockton. Although I'll be leaving within the month, but it's amazing to see that the city I grew up in will be in amazing hands. And thank you.
Thank you, Marissa, and again, congratulations. Our next recipient is Maya Peeples. Maya received $1,000 from the Amelia Ann Adams Scholarship Fund and $500 from the Brandon Harrison Scholarship, Be Smooth Inc. And major in human biology. Ever since I was younger, I always knew I wanted to be in the medical field. At first, I wanted to be a vet, but later I changed to a pediatrician. I am a really caring person, and I enjoy taking care of people. So the medical field fits me just fine. Thank you, Maya. You have the floor.
Hi, thank you for the amazing introduction. As you heard, my name is Maya Peeples. I just graduated from Bear Creek. This fall, I will be attending UC San Diego and pursuing a major in human biology. After UC San Diego, I'm going to go to med school and become a pediatric hospitalist. I'm just really excited to get this scholarship. I'm really grateful. It's going to help a lot towards all of the fees and just all of the expenses that come with going to college. Like, I'm really appreciative to it, and I thank the Amelia Ann Adams organization a lot. Like, it's going to help a lot. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Maya. Next, we have Alyssa Townsend. She received the Amelia Ann Adams Scholarship back in 2019. However, we are continuing to give our recipients funding. And so Alyssa is getting awarded $400 from the Amelia Ann Adams Center and Whole Life Center, and $500 from Brandon Harrison Scholarship from Be Smooth Inc. Alyssa says, my current GPA is a 3.26, and I am attending UCLA majoring in public affairs with a minor of entrepreneurship. The public affairs major focuses on public policy, social work, and urban planning. I was inspired to pursue my field of study by engaging in community and social justice work, seeing how low-income, underrepresented communities, especially POC, were negatively affected by the corrupt system. And I decided I wanted to do my part for making a difference. I also want to build a safer community for my younger siblings to grow up in and create change through policy work supporting the POC community and generations after us. I've decided to minor in entrepreneurship to aid me in starting my own business and creating generational wealth for my family. And I want to say, during the pandemic, Alyssa led some peaceful demonstrations around a lot of our racial social injustices for our youth locally. And so, Alyssa, congratulations for the continual scholarship and the new scholarship, and we would love to hear from you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Pastor Adams was my pastor growing up, so this award hit different. You know, seeing your village and the people that you grew up with throughout your childhood, they're supporting you throughout your college education, like, it's different. And oh my God, I hate when this happened. Like, and then college is definitely a really challenging experience. And when the Amelia Adams Foundation hit me up saying, oh, we have this other award we're gonna give to you, and then the money was like deposited in my account in like the next week or two or something, and I'm just like, dang, I really needed that right now. Like, thank you. It really came in clutch. And I just feel so honored to be where I am right now in life. I attend UCLA, majored in public affairs, and like, I'm literally pursuing my college education on the campus where the Black Panthers had their meetings. And it's just like, it's just like unreal. After college, I do plan to take a year or two off, and then I plan to start pursuing my PhD in public policy. Yeah, I did. I led a few protests in Stockton during the pandemic, and that really did kind of change my whole trajectory on what I wanted to do. Well, my plan is still solidified. Like, I want to eventually run for a government position. I don't know exactly which one though, because I ain't trying to, get killed or anything. But, I really just want to do my part because, I think as Marissa, as she was saying, it starts on paper, creating them policies and putting more diversity into the positions of power to be able to have the final say. Because at the end of the day, you have to have a want to be able to make change. Those are the type of people that need to be in those positions of power, not just based on, who's in there right now and how they got there. But we're definitely seeing more diversity, first Black woman on Senate. So there's definitely changes near. And just thank you. I really appreciate it. And thank you for giving me time to speak today and for all that you've done. Words cannot express how much I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Congratulations to Maya, Marissa, and Alasia. We're so proud of all of you. And thank you to Cherie for sharing that segment. We're so glad that the Amelia Ann Adams Scholarship Fund is still going and that it's able to impact lives like this. And just hearing Alasia right now at school, being able to share, it's hard. And so Maya and Marissa, you're about to go into that journey. Some of us have been there. And if you haven't been to school, you know what it must feel like to be away from your family or just in a new situation. So we'd like to give some words of encouragement to these young ladies. The whiteboard has been shared on the screen. And if you will just begin to click or to write, let's write some words of affirmation, some encouraging words to these ladies right now. You can draw it. You can click the T over there and it'll allow you to type in your text. We don't have to know who said it. You just start writing on there. Someone's already found the sticky note. There's a sticky note opportunity. You can write your note there, but some words so that this can be downloaded and shared with the young ladies as they are going away from home, off to college. Let's tell them, be strong. We love you. Remember your roots. Stay true to who you are. Take charge, young lady. Somebody put in the chat, stay focused. That's right. Don't get distracted. There's a lot that will come at you, but remember what you went there for. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Yes, those are some other words that are coming through. You got this, guys. Don't worry about where your sticky note shows up. In the end, we're able to move this around and make sure they can see all of the messages. What's important is that, just like Alasia said, it meant a lot to her to hear from her community, know that she's loved and still supported even while she's away. Let's let them know Stockton Strong means that we appreciate the work you young ladies have done, and we definitely want you to take that love with you off to school. Thank you guys so much for contributing to this whiteboard of encouragement. And even if you weren't able to get to the whiteboard for whatever reason, putting your comments in the chat, we're still able to capture those and share them with our young ladies, our college girls. Yes, whoop, whoop. Thank you. Let them know what's coming from Stockton. Stockton has greatness. Stockton nurtured these young ladies and they're going off to make a great impact into the world. And so we're sending them off with some love. Thank you so much, guys, for participating in that part. And I know that Alasia and Maya and Marissa are very appreciative of it. That's right. Elizabeth Burst said, there is nothing beyond your reach. So girls, reach, reach, reach. All right. Again, if you would like to continue to share words of affirmation or encouragement to our college, our young ladies that are going off to college, please do so. Thank you guys. I know that they all feel the same way. They're so appreciative of the words or any advice that you have for them. All right, we're coming down to the final part of our program, and we are going to hear from a very special speaker. I'm going to read her bio. You can follow along if you'd like. Remember, you do have the digital program with information in there. This also means that we are going to be winding our evening up soon. So if you need to go back and check your silent auction and make sure no one has outbid you, go ahead and do that. You still have time to bid on those options. If you have not posted your selfie, why not? Go ahead and do it now. Remember, hashtag Bridges Over Gala and Amelia Ann Adams Whole Life Center, AAAWLC. All right. So our keynote speaker tonight is Mrs. Shani Richards. And Shani is a native of Stockton, California, where she discovered a love for working in the community and in ministry. Initially reluctant to embrace the call to community, Shani found herself influenced by the living and loving she witnessed from her mother, pastor, and friend, the late Amelia Ann Adams. Before heading off to college, Shani made promises to return to Stockton, even though she wasn't always confident that she wanted to return. What she was sure about was that the Stockton community was the soil that nurtured the seeds of confidence and commitment that flourished within her as she accomplished her educational and personal goals. During Shani's most challenging seasons, the encouragement from her mother, her church family, and community members provided her with the vision and faith to value her destiny to be a leader and work in the community. She enjoys planting, cultivating, and working in the lives of people because she knows personally how powerful messages of confidence and inspiration can be to people who are facing doubt and stagnation. From her mother's example, and what a great example she was, she learned to value the investment of time, energy, and love that helps people see and receive who God created them to be. Shani is known for delivering positive and inspirational messages, and one of her favorite faith-filled reminders is just because you want something that you don't have doesn't mean you want something that you can't have. Catch that. Shani is the proud founder and publisher of Books Here, Books There Publishing. She is a children's book author and provides partner-based coaching services to women in leadership. She is the proud mother of spoken word artist and college student, Sayani Ife. Shani is an active entrepreneur and coach for women in leadership. Currently, she lives on the East Coast with her husband, Dwight, where she homeschools their two youngest children, Soleil and Dwight Jr. Before I invite her to speak, I would like for Jocelyn to play a video of Pastor Adams encouraging us to use our gifts and talents.
I'd like to encourage those who are listening to this video to look at what is it that you could do? What are your contributions? You know, I believe that we all can share in this movement, and it matters not what education level that you're on. It doesn't matter where you live, if you live in North Stockton, West Stockton, East Stockton, Central Stockton, there's still an opportunity. If you are a senior, there's an opportunity. If you're young, if you're in high school, if you're in college, we all have gifts that we have been given to share to better mankind. So I encourage you to see where you can fit in and become a part of this movement.
And with that, we welcome to the floor Pastor Adams' daughter, Shani Richards.
Good evening, everybody. I hope I'm coming through clear. I was having some bandwidth issues earlier, but I'm smiling from seeing my mom. My heart is full, not just from her photo, but the whole event tonight has just been a beautiful expression of community and connectedness and encouragement. So I'm really, really just pleased to be here with you all this evening. And I have so much to say. I had to try to narrow it down because I know everyone is not going to be online forever. You have non-virtual things to do, but I'm so excited to share just what has come to me. I'm trying to make sure I'm on the East Coast, so there's not a lot of natural light. So I tried to put some light on the subject. I want to start off with just a few what could be considered formalities, but they're necessities for me. I just want to honor my siblings, Bungie and Cherie. Thank you for being the glue. We've been in group chats and on FaceTime, and it's just great to have siblings and just, through this time, it's the celebratory time, but also it can be really tough remembering the one who we wish were still here. And then I also wanted to just recognize the Amelia Ann Adams Whole Life Center team. Like, wow, the organization has come a long way. So to Christina, you are I would say the torchbearer. You are continuing, keeping the movement going and keeping things going forward. So I just want to honor you and also the board. So giving honor to whom honor is due. I believe it's a necessity, although it's also a formality. So Mrs. Adams, Miss Adams, Pastor Adams, Amelia, if you knew her that way, she was mom to me. And so you'll hear me refer to her as mom because I was going to try to go neutral, but I'm like, no, most of us, over about 70% of us knew her. So if you knew her, you knew she had kids. I'm one of them. Cherie spoke earlier, so I'll just refer to her as mom. But as you heard in that video, she was not letting us off the hook. She didn't care what part of town you lived on, if you were young, if you were old, there was something to do. And she didn't let you off the hook for nothing small. She said to change mankind, and she really believed that. She believed that by doing what you are here to do, putting forth your gifts and talents, mankind could be changed. And we know this to be true because how many of us, knowing her or just meeting her reputation, have been changed because of her? And so I just wanted to mention that because, hearing that video again, every time I hear it, I'm like, yes, Mom, I hear you. And so I just wanted to share that. So let me go ahead and get into my comments for the evening. I'm going to try to adjust the light. It's a little bit distracting for me. So I spoke about my mother as a bridge over many waters because she spanned so many things that could keep us divided to give us a way across those many waters, whether it was geography or socioeconomic, even faith, different faiths. If we connected through her to other people, we found ourselves on the other side of what we couldn't always even imagine. We couldn't even see the things that sometimes she was able to see in ourselves. So she was a beautiful bridge, a strong and supportive bridge. Tonight, I want to talk about her as a gardener. She was a gardener in real life. And I remember being so frustrated by the strawberries that she loved to grow because she never wanted me to eat them until they were red, and I wanted to eat them right away. So those are some of my early memories of my mom being a gardener, but she was also a gardener in people's lives. So why is it important to be a gardener? To invest and plant in community. In practical terms, to eat and enjoy the fruit of our labor is just something that we can look forward to. And I would say it could be something edible. I lean towards food because I'm a foodie, but it could be even an ornamental type of things. But it's important to be a gardener so that there's growth, so that there's life, so that there is something that we can partake of in the future, even though the planting may seem arduous and not always rewarding, but it's important to plant if you want to have something for later. What happens when there are disproportionate needs? What if there's so much need around you? I mean, sometimes it can feel like, well, what can I possibly do? There's too much to do. When there's a lot of need, that means we need even more planters, because together we can be, I'll just call it a community gardeners. We can be community gardeners and garden together because we can share the effort. We can bring together what we know. Sometimes what we know hasn't cultivated yet, but what about your willingness? What about what you've learned? Sometimes I've discarded unintentionally what I learned from making flops and mistakes. It's like sometimes it's so easy to just discard what you've learned because you think, or I'll be personal, I would think, I want to get this right. I want to have the story that I did it well and I did it right. But how much learning and how much wisdom did I gain because I didn't do it right and I didn't do it perfectly? And so I just want to encourage you that more planners coming together, being in community with one another gives us a shared abundance. And that wealth of gifts and talents and abilities will go very far. It's something incredible about how you can come together with other people, and all the lack that you think you have and all of the limits and all of the problems seem to go away, because now I don't just only have what I have, but I have what you have and he has and she has. And so we just end up having an abundant time. But let me deal with what is sometimes hard to acknowledge, but is there. Because we can call a community together, but what about some of the not so favorable or popular things that are there that need to be said? So I'm going to shine the light on some of them. If you want to participate, put some stuff in the chat that you can relate to, that you've heard or you felt. What about I'm tired? How many of you have been tired of planting or tired at the thought of planting? Like, we don't even always have to be busy. Sometimes we are just tired at the thought of it. I'm scared. I remember literally being afraid that I was going to get it wrong. I mean, just being so connected to wanting to be right. Even with planting, when I first was planting, I didn't want to make a mistake. I'm not good enough. Can we relate to that sentiment? I'm not consistent. What if I kill it? What if I don't water it enough? What if the soil's not good? I don't know where to start. I don't have the money. I don't have the resources. I'm doing too much already. How many of you can say amen to that? You feel like, where am I going to find the time, the energy, the anything to do more? Is it even worth it? Is it worth it? Do I have enough netting and to keep the cats or the rabbits or the birds or the insects? Like, what if it's not even worth it? Those are all things that we could be thinking. You might add to that in your own mind, in the chat, but I think it's worth acknowledging. And then I'm going to just do something that's very like my mom. She was such a great listener, and she would hear and you would feel heard. And then after a period of time, sometimes it was moments, sometimes it was minutes, sometimes a little longer, but then it was time to get into the strategy, because she just believed that, yes, you got it out and it's real for you, but what can we do about it? So I'm going to go into that right now, because no matter how you feel, every gardener needs tools. And that's one of the things that I really, really appreciate about her. She was about equipping people. You didn't go to her and leave empty-handed. Literally and figuratively, you could have something in your hand, something you could use. And in a community garden, so I'm advocating for community gardening, we get access to the good tools that seasoned gardeners use, okay? I mean, no matter what kind of environment you go in, when you're there with some seasoned veteran folk, they have stuff that they don't even make anymore. They have stuff that you can't even afford the stuff. You're like, whoa, you have one of those? I've only seen it in the magazines. I've only heard about that kind of tool. Well, when you get in with seasoned people that have been gardening, they've accumulated a tool kit and a set of tools that you're just like, wow, I need that. I'm so glad I'm with you, because now I get to be a part of your tools and use those tools. So let me tell you the two tools. These aren't the only tools, but I'm going to highlight two tools that Amelia Ann Adams used, okay? Love and faith. I suggest you garden with both, okay? I won't say or, but it's love and faith. Love is associated with great sacrifice and self-sacrifice. It's associated with that. And I say that because when I think about, as I grew up listening to the passages in scripture and the accounts in the scripture, when we think about ultimate love, it had to do with sacrifice. It had to do with Christ laying his life down for the world. It had to do with no greater love hath a man that gives up his own life for his brother. It was such an element of sacrifice. Yes, there's affection, and yes, there is the feel goods, and there's the sacrifice. It's not the whole definition, but it's one of the pinnacle definitions. So I wanted to bring that out because my mom embodied that through her tireless work. I didn't always understand, and as was shared with my bio, I wasn't 100% sold, sometimes not even 1% sold, that so much sacrifice was even okay. You know, I used to say, Mom, can you just get it? I was sincere now, but I'm telling you what I used to ask her. I used to ask her if she could get a job at the bank, because everybody I knew, I mean, you go to the bank and it has to be open and then the bank closes. And so in my mind, if she became a banker, then she would have open and closed hours. Her shift would begin and then it would end because the work that she was attracted to, called to, committed to never ended for her. She wasn't off the clock. And so I'm not advocating that we do everything like Amelia Ann Adams, okay? She was who she was. But the lesson that I learned is that sacrifice was just a part of being a planter in people. You can determine to what extent you're willing to sacrifice. She happened to be willing at a level that amazes us all. But willingness is really important. But she did her work. She was consistent. She was not discouraged that she did work that was not paid for. You know, it was warming my heart hearing Christina talk because it was so characteristic of someone mentored by Amelia Ann Adams that says, okay, we need your money, but the work's going to go on no matter what. And she did work for years in the community that was uncompensated. It wasn't about the compensation. Eventually, she did work and got compensated for it, but she modeled that money and resources will follow commitment. It will follow. You will attract the resources, you will attract the people, but get to work. So it was not about someone saying, here's some money, go do the work. She just felt committed to the work. She was committed to Southeast Stockton specifically. And that involved sacrifice. And it came from her love for her community. And I just wanted to mention that love and that gardening approach is still being carried on by the Amelia Ann Adams Whole Life Center. It is reflective of her approach, as Christina shared at the beginning. It is true to form. Let me move on to faith. Faith can be defined and characterized as complete trust. In Hebrews, the 11th chapter, it defines faith as the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not seen. So when we have faith, it's already done. In our perspective, it's finished. So what would happen if we pursued our convictions with the belief that it would happen? I don't know about you. I've been a part of a lot of things. And at times I have felt, well, I'm committed to the person. I'm committed to the day. But it's sometimes hard to really commit because if you think about it, unless you have faith, that commitment is going to falter. If you don't think, believe, and behave like it's done, this is going to be the case, then we aren't operating in faith. And I'm telling you, this is one of the veteran tools when you plant in the lives of other people, when you plant in your community, love and faith. I want to share a quick story. I mentioned earlier that I had a fear in gardening. And so our church, when I was in California, had the privilege of having a master gardener as part of the congregation. I called her Sister Judy, and she was our master gardener, invited those of us who would come out and plant the garden. Her and her husband had gotten so much of it already ready. And I was so nervous. I wish I had had a ruler because she was telling us how deep, but she didn't have a ruler. She just used her finger and a digit and just press into the dirt, and then you put the seeds in. And I was like, I can't estimate the seeds. I wanted to get it exactly right. I didn't want to mess up. I didn't want to be the cause of a failed garden, okay? And this garden was named after my mom. So Amelia Ann Adams, community garden, and Amelia's garden. That was for sure, Amelia's garden. And I was so tense. And she just encouraged me to relax and enjoy the process. Okay, so when we're operating in faith, We don't always have to be ramped up and so, tight and wound up tight. We want to believe that things are going to operate and happen the way that they need to happen. So she was just inviting me to relax. And then the plants started to come up and I noticed some were missing. And I was out there, I was having a little bit of a, inventory, and this is wrong and this is missing. And those cats, we got to keep them out, and whatever else could have came into the garden, right? It was an open flower bed or a raised bed. And she just so gently invited me to look at all of what was growing, And it really shifted me. It changed my perspective. It changed my attention. You can tell this was years ago, and it is with me to this day. I use that example quite a bit because I want to convey something to you. There are principles in place. You plant, you water, there's an increase. Farmers have been doing it before they were even called farmers. And so there's just something that happens when we are going through all the steps. And so I can't say that's faith per se, but it's faith that when we do it, that we're operating with this conviction. We're operating understanding that I don't see it right now. I don't see it today, but I have this belief and I'm standing on that belief because I don't have to fret over every little action or inaction because I'm going through a process and there's principles at play. So I want to mention that because it's so easy when we're out there in the lives of people to get discouraged because things aren't going right. And what we've planted, we don't see it yet, or what we've planted hasn't come up exactly like we thought it would come up. And what about the young person who fell away? Or what about the senior who didn't get exactly what we thought was fair? And what about the loss of our loved ones? We can feel like we're losing when we're planting because there's this sense of what we didn't get or what someone took away. But I want to encourage you that when we're going in faith and when we're going and we're thinking about this as planting and a harvest, there will be things that are lost along the way. There will be some unfortunate circumstances along the way. And it is worth it. It is worth to keep planting. I've stopped looking at my notes because I just want to speak from my heart. The notes came from my heart, but I want to speak from my heart because when it comes to this work, when it comes to showing up as yourself, when it comes to giving to others, not just so much what other people are contributing. Sometimes we can get distracted by what someone else has to offer. And maybe I only have this, but I want it to look like that. What you have is what you plant. What you have, the gift, the talent, the ability is what you plant. And I'm going to tell you something that I learned from this community gardener that I spoke about. That some things don't come into the second or third harvest. That blew my mind. I'm like, are you kidding me? You mean we're going to plant this year, wait all that time, get some strawberries that are looking a little lean to plant again, hoping? I didn't even understand the concept. I'm like, really? Is this what it is? We're going to just plant over and over and over again before we get that really seasoned, strong crop? And the answer is yes. You're going to plant and things are going to look weak at first. And you're going to wonder, should I do it again? And I'm going to say, plant again. And things are going to get a little bit stronger, but not like your vision. And I'm going to say, plant again. Keep planting, because some of the work that we are appointed, and as my mother would say, anointed to do, isn't going to show up like the vision the first time. Many years ago, when I was a small girl, I don't keep track of years like some of my folks do. So I have to say I was a small girl. my mother founded a whole life center. She founded a women's home, and she did a lot of great work. And then there was a sunset for that. And then after her retirement, she started a hub. And she's done many things in between that time. But the seed that she planted over and over and over again, she kept planting, she kept planting. She planted in lots of people. Jasmine, you're on tonight. I've heard about you over the years. I've seen you up close and personal. We've never really had a long interaction. And I've seen the mural, and I've seen you even portrayed as I've been on the East Coast, and she planted in you. And there's so many people, but I bring up Jasmine because you recognized her as a recipient, the mentoring that she did in your life. And I just want you to understand how the Whole Life Center, the Amelia Ann Adams Whole Life Center, is a byproduct of so much planting and consistency over the years, over the decades. And it does not take anything away from the hard work of the current people, but we're not always going to be privileged to see the return, the growth that we see. Sometimes in our vision, in our mind's eye, in that spiritual dimension, we can see something and we will plant like it will come into fruition. That's my encouragement for you tonight, is that you plant like it's going to come into fruition, knowing that in this community space that we're planting in, that we're going to not always see everything, but it doesn't mean we won't see anything. It just means that so much of what we want to see is going to come sometimes in a future harvest. And so we have to have the faith and keep the faith that it is not for nothing. I'm not planting just to eat today. I'm planting so that my children and my children's children and their children and my extended family, that we have something. So is it important to be a gardener? Is it important to plant? Yes, it is. Do you need tools? Yes, but if you get in community, you're not going to have all the tools all by yourself. You're going to have some veteran master gardeners, and some of them are on tonight. Your Bridges Over Many Water recipients are some of those that have honed in on their craft, honed in on their vision, honed in on their purpose. And so getting together with other people gives us a beautiful array of tools and opportunities to have access to more than we ourselves have as individuals. And so I just want to encourage you that keep planting, plant with faith and plant with love, and know that what you need, we could all get a download of those encouraging words for those scholarship recipients, but what you need is, and what the community needs, you have it. You are that. You are the seed. And so we don't have to go out and accumulate anything else. We just need to be who we are, show up with what we have, get with others, and be consistent. I want to reflect as I close on something Christina had said, and that is relationship was one of those just formative principles that my mom operated from. People were everything. That's why, it still brings me joy to hear people talk about them being mentored by her, and just that feeling you have, like, I know she gave herself to other people, but the way she gave herself to me just felt like I was so important. And I want to tell you, you were, and you still are, because she was that way in public and in private. She used to tell us, the kids, like, you don't control my relationships. Like, she didn't let you stand in between herself and anyone else. Like, I used to give my little, opinions about people and stuff. It had nothing to do with her and her love for people, because that was you. She was on a different level. Okay. And so I'm trying to be at that level where we can just see people for how God sees them, instead of the imperfections. Really, that's our own personal issue. But I wanted to mention that because she would close out her public gatherings when she would be doing something with community. We get in a big circle and we would hold hands. This was pre-COVID, of course. I don't know what people are doing now, but we would hold hands and she would lead us in a song. I'm going to spare your ears because I'm just going to say the words, okay? But just imagine that everyone here is holding hands in a circle. And she would say, bind us together, Lord, bind us together with cords that cannot be broken. Bind us together, Lord, bind us together, Lord, bind us together in love. So I want to encourage you, go forward with love, go forward with faith. And I want to make a plea to you that when we purpose to plant good seed, we want to know that it's going in good ground. So if you have that little notion in you, that feeling like, you know what, I really want to continue the work of Pastor Amelia Ann Adams. The Amelia Ann Adams Whole Life Center is not just using her name, it is carrying forth her legacy and her work. So I encourage you, sign up for Amazon Smile and designate the Amelia Ann Adams Whole Life Center as a recipient. You may have a current Smile collaboration or partner. You can share it. You can share, we all are ordering something. Give a one-time gift or join as a monthly donor. It is going to blow your mind what our collective work can do, because as was shared, Roslyn Burse, dear to my heart, was the first employee. But if you look through the program, there's more than just one employee. We had one program that the Amelia Ann Adams Whole Life started with as far as a funded program. The work started as volunteer work. One grant funded program. And now there were too many programs that are operating that to take up time to explain. So if you can imagine Amelia Ann Adams volunteering, and then working from a job that she retired from her community work, the Amelia Ann Adams Whole Life Center, starting off volunteering, and then being able to hire people in the community and do programs that are just rich in how they touch people, not just in big numbers, but at the place where there's transformation and there's activation and there's impact. We're all capable. We're all capable. So I want to encourage you. I have moved away, but I'm volunteering next week. I have found a community and an opportunity to volunteer, and I won't stop, because wherever I can plant, I will plant. And it's not because it always appealed to me, but I know that it is fruitful work. So I want to encourage you, closing out now. Look, I used to minister, so let me not do the 2-3 closeout. This is my final comment, and that is just to go forward with love, go forward with faith, and please consider and actually move forward in giving a gift. to the Amelia Ann Adams Whole Life Center. Excellent soil, excellent harvest. Thank you, and I turn it back over to the organizers.
Thank you so much, Shani. Those were wonderful words. I hear the applause. Let's give her some snaps, give her some applause. Put your clapped hands and your reactions are in the chat. We are so appreciative of hearing from you tonight and everything that she expressed. Just again, wrapping it up with who Amelia Ann Adams was and the work that continues to go on because of her hard work that she did while she was here on earth and continuing to inspire us to do the same. Not only her work, but all those who were honored tonight. So we encourage you to give to the Amelia Ann Adams Whole Life Center. You've seen it posted in the chat all night. You can designate the Amelia Ann Adams Whole Life Center through United Way Giving. All of you that are working, there are opportunities for a portion of your check to go straight to a nonprofit, and you can designate that one as Amelia Ann Adams. The phone number is 209-469-6980. Amazon Smile, you've heard about that tonight. You can do that also. You just Google Amazon Smile and put in Amelia Ann Adams Whole Life Center. Venmo, if you have Venmo, go to @AAA-WLC and give a generous donation. You can Cash App to $AAAWLC. Those are ways that you can give financially to the Amelia Ann Adams Whole Life Center. You can also volunteer. One of those many programs you can volunteer for. I guarantee you there's something they're doing that you are into. So click the link that has been placed in the chat tonight and volunteer, fill out the form and find out what's going on and how you can volunteer. Maybe one day, maybe regularly, bring in your children, your grandchildren, your neighbors. Let's continue on the good work of Amelia Ann Adams through this wonderful Whole Life Center. And what you can do is save the date for next year, July 15th, 2023. We will be back again together to celebrate with another gala and recognizing members of our community. So thank you so much for being here tonight. We are not finished because we have 2 more winners to announce. Those are the winners from our social media challenge. All right, so I'm going to call on Jonna to come and let us know who was the winner from IG, who was the winner from Facebook.
Hello, everybody. I'm sorry, my video is not letting me. It keeps failing to start the video.
Oh my goodness.
But we do have 2 winners today. So Mr. Curtis Smith and Miss Adams are the winners.
All right.
The challenge. They were the first couple to put their picture on there. So congratulations.
Hey, $50.
You to come to the office or we'll deliver your prize to you. So thank you so much for participating.
All right, congratulations, Pastor Curtis. Congratulations, Serene Adams. You have heard how to get in touch with Amelia Ann Adams Whole Life Center tonight. So use one of those contacts to get your prizes. I'm going to pass it over to the Executive Director, Christina Peeples, to close us out.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Miss Phillips. Can we give her a hand clap in the chat or a heart emoji? Thank you so much for emceeing this event for us. I know she was under the weather, but she still pushed through for us, and I definitely appreciate it. I just wanted to end to encourage you all, as you heard throughout the night, to really use your gifts and talents. As I shared earlier, one of the principles that we really encourage in our organization, which is your pain is your purpose. And so everything that you have gone through, you have experienced, you have learned, or someone poured into you, is for you to pour into others. So whether that's, donating your time, working within your church and your community, within your family, just make sure that you're giving back and serving others with those things that you've been blessed with. So I just want to encourage you all to stay connected with us. I do want to end with a couple of thank yous. I do want to thank our donors again for sponsoring this event. They are planting some seeds into the work that we're doing, like Ms. Phillips shared and Shanice shared. Some of the work, we are doing some work that's not funded. So this gala will support some of that work. And one of the things that we really pride ourselves on is really compensating community for their time. So whenever we work with residents, and it's important for us, we don't ask residents to come a volunteer or share their feedback without compensating them, just like we don't want to come to work without being paid. So this is a way that we're able to really compensate them, and we compensate them at the same rate that we pay our staff. So you know, that's one of the things that we really value is our community. So I really appreciate our sponsors for really pouring and sowing that seed into our work. I do want to acknowledge our board members, Mr. Phillips, Henry Phillips, who is our board chair, who just retired this year, but so that means you can give all your time to us, Mr. Phillips. I really appreciate the work that you've done in really leading our board. Bungie Adams, who is also Pastor Adams' son, just really continuing her legacy. And Miss Felicia Bailey Carr, who's one of our newer board members who joined us last year, actually 2 years ago. I just really enjoy the insight that you really bring to our board. And of course, I need to acknowledge my family. So for me, our work is a family work. So when mom's working, my kids is working, my husband is working. So I do want to appreciate my husband, Maurice, who not only invests time, but his money and his heart to this work. And so I really appreciate how you've really supported this, because when we didn't have funding, we were funding this. So I really appreciate, Maurice, your faith in the vision that God had given me to start this organization. I know it was probably hard to see it, you know, if it was really going to come to pass, but I knew that it would be, because this was something that God had given me and the board. So I really appreciate your support, Maurice, and I appreciate my children's support, because my kids, they are all in, their hands are all in. Whenever it's anything to do with community or an event, they are always there. So I really appreciate my kids for all of the work and support that they've done. And to our program staff, they rock. People that are currently working here, and people that have worked here in the past that were working here for a season, everyone that has come to the Amelia Adams Whole Life Center was for a purpose, and they all have contributed to the growth of our organization. And I am so appreciative for all of our staff. Miss Jocelyn Phillips, to us, she's Jossie. She is our administrative coordinator, a specialist, I'm sorry, who really is running everything in the background. And oftentimes you only really recognize your staff that are out in the public, but not really understanding all of the hard work that your admin team does behind scenes. So I really appreciate you, Miss Jocelyn. Miss Tanise Wallace, who is our racial equity inclusion program manager, who has also really been out here helping me write these grants. We've been in grant writing season since she started. And so I just really appreciate all of the work that she brings and just her expertise. A lot of our participants really connect and respect her because she brings lived experience to this space. And so all of her trauma-informed work has really elevated the work that we're doing. So I really appreciate you, Miss Tanise. Miss Janet Phillips, who also was one of our former participants, and really been able to see her grow into this work and really living out her purpose. She's really known in the Kelly Drive community. They call on Janet for everything. Really appreciate how you've really been putting out your heart to really service others. And Jonna, who's one of our newer staff, she's been with us almost a year. Jonna jumped in, hands in, like hit the ground running. Unfortunately, she came in after Miss Roslyn passed, and she had big shoes to fill, right? And so people were looking at her like, I don't know, you know, you're not Miss Roz, but she came in and she did her thing, and she continued the work that Miss Roz has done. And I'm so proud of you, Jonna. And then Felix, I'm so blessed to be able to meet Felix. Felix is someone that will get his hands dirty. If you need anything, he's right there, and he's definitely passionate about the people that we're serving. And I really admire the strength and the calmness that he brings to our team. So I just thank my staff. And then of course, our donors, all of our silent auction donors that have gifted us our donations tonight. And those of you who purchased tickets for this event, those of you that have donated to silent auctions, those of you that have donated all year long. I want to call out some of the guest speakers from Empowered Women of Excellence. They have been sowing seeds into women who have really been feeling broken. And as you know, during COVID, you know, mental health has been a huge need in our community. And so these women have come and really shared their story. Even sometimes it may have been hard sharing their story, but just knowing that you poured into other women, that you've been a blessing to others, that although you've gone through this pain, you're helping others. So I want to thank all of our volunteers that have helped throughout our programs. And I do want to say a special thank you to AP Catering tonight. They provided catering dinner for all of the awardees. So all of the awardees were able to have dinner tonight. So hope that you all enjoyed your food, and thank you, Erin Peeples, for your food donation. And to the awardees, continue to do the work that you're doing. And I haven't had a chance to really get to know Dr. Anitra Williams, but I look forward to working with you. I've heard a lot of positive things about you and how you've really impacted a lot of people in the medical field. And really, it was no question about who we were going to give this award to. So congratulations to you again. Pastor Foley, one thing that I admire about Pastor Foley that I also saw from Pastor Adams is that how they were in church was how they were outside of the church. And Foley is definitely that. When you see him, he is the same person. He gives you that same energy. And so I'm just really blessed that we were able to honor him. And then Jasmine, girl, you so deserve this award. For someone so young, she is so young and has accomplished so much. And I'm so proud of you, and you so deserve this award. And I know that everything that you do, you will be blessed in, and those who are around you will be blessed. So I think you don't even know how much we truly admire you and the work that you're doing. And a lot of the work that Jasmine does is not even compensated. So some of this work I found out, I was like, what is it that you really do? Because I wasn't really sure, because I see her wear a lot of hats, and a lot of this work Jasmine is doing on her own. You know, she's modeling a lot of that. So thank you so much, Jasmine. And to our scholarship winners, I'm ending to our scholarship winners. Be sure that you always reach your goals. Don't ever stop. And just like Shanice said, it might not seem like you're reaching it right now, but you keep striving, because you will be reaching it, right? And it will be hard going away from your family, but you are covered, and you know that your community has your back. So congratulations to our scholarship winners, and thank you, a special thank you to Be Smooth. Our scholarship winners were not aware that they were going to get additional scholarship. We reached out to Be Smooth, who gives annually to the Amelia Adams Scholarship Program. They have a scholarship that recognizes a Brandon Harrison Award. And so she was able to add on to all of our scholarship recipients. So you're going to get an additional $500. So really honored that you guys will be able to have more money, and stay in contact with us, because just like we said, we want you to succeed, and we hope to refund you again next year. And thank you all again for tonight. And if you haven't had a chance, make sure that you check out the silent action. I think it's going to be ending soon. And I hope you all have a good night. Thank you so much.
Excellent job.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night.